stuff when you're in grass.
Why is there in there? He's taking pictures of you. Grabbing him.
I think what it is, Ron, is the different degree.
Where's Chris at?
Lori's on this side. She's going to be calling the guy. I got a picture of her. Yeah. She's right there. Mary. Tracy. Tracy's on the same side as Lori. Wearing sunglasses. So Lori will be right over here.
Might be the honor ones. The blue ones might be the honors.
Connie Weber, a member of the college's music faculty, is going to lead us in the national anthem. Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be given immediately after by Reverend Gordon Granberg of the First Baptist Church of Wayne. Then we will be seated to listen to some more music by our Wayne State College concert band.
Let us pray. Lord God, it is difficult to compress years of study and effort into a single moment of recognition and celebration. It is difficult to compress the varied experiences of relating and seeking and learning and growing into a few moments of pomp and ceremony. And so we pray, help us to savor this occasion, this one moment in time, which marks for so many of us an ending and a new beginning. Some goodbyes are hard. We are reluctant to let go of the patterns and friendships which have become our security here. We tremble as now we must abandon the familiar and the routine. But the epitome of life is change. And so help us all, O God, to encounter life with confidence and with hope, which ultimately can only be found in you. Amen.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Wayne State College for this very special occasion. As president of Wayne State College, it gives me great pleasure to open the commencement activities for the spring of 1990. It's always exciting to see prospective graduates seated and waiting for that special moment which symbolizes the culmination of much hard work and many memorable experiences. And of course, the many significant others, mothers and fathers, spouses, sisters and brothers, children, grandparents, and friends assembled here to share this special moment with their graduate. Ceremony is very much a part of life for all of us, and there are few ceremonies that match the significance of graduation from college. It is a privilege and an honor to share this special day with each of you. Today, we will award 208 bachelor's degrees and 13 master's degrees. Wayne State College is one of 4 state colleges governed by the Board of Trustees of the Nebraska State Colleges. Chadron, Kearney, and Peru State Colleges are the others. 6 board members, each appointed by the governor, give countless hours to the governance of public higher education, year in and year out, without financial compensation. Today, one of those esteemed public servants is with us to bring you greetings from the Nebraska State College Board of Trustees. Gretchen Hirschbach is a lifelong resident of Dakota County and lives in South Sioux City. She is an elected Dakota County Commissioner, serving her 4th term and currently serving as chairman of that board. She also serves as the vice president of the governing board of the Region 4 Office of Developmental Disabilities. Governor Orr appointed Mrs. Hirschbach to a 6-year term in May of 1987. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a friend of public higher education and a friend of Wayne State College, Gretchen Hirschbach.
Thank you, Dr. Nash. Good afternoon, Senator Exon, graduates, and friends of Wayne State College. Thank you for allowing me to share this celebration with you. I bring you congratulations and best wishes for a bright and shining future from the Board of Trustees. The board held one of its regular meetings here a few weeks ago. We meet once a year on each of the 4 campuses, Wayne, Peru, Kearney, and Chadron. And something happened after that meeting that I would like to tell you about. At the meeting, we had raised tuition for next year by about 5%, or $2 an hour for in-state students. That was the amount that the Nebraska unicameral had essentially built into the funding process. And a reporter at a Sioux City radio station wanted to ask me about that increase. Frankly, I was prepared to go on the defensive, anticipating that the question would be, why the increase? How will it affect your students? My reaction was a reflection of this board's concern that the colleges be as accessible as possible, the final line, as it were, of higher education. But to my surprise, I found myself defending why the tuition increase and the rate of tuition itself were so low. How could we be any good, the questioner implied, if we weren't expensive? Didn't we know, he asked, that some colleges considered it a good marketing tool to keep raising rates, to deliberately aim for a high tuition? What it boiled down to was the premise that if you can afford it, it's not good enough. It was just so reflective of the 80s value system. That philosophy would measure the merit of your degree by how much debt you acquired in the process of getting it, and it would market a whole lot of students right out of any college degree. Well, it didn't worry me that some student might not go to Wayne because it's too cheap. After all, the school set an all-time attendance record this year. But it did make me think. Our marketing device, maybe, is or ought to be the antithesis of the elitist message I had been given. Namely, that the state colleges are no-frills suppliers, lean and mean education machines, providing high-quality education at a bargain cost. Not only are tuition, fees, and room and board reasonable up front, but over 2/3 of the students at Wayne receive financial aid of some sort to the tune of over $5 million. Not only are our students among the brightest and best, by the way, they are also among the most trustworthy. The default rate on Perkins loans at Wayne is under 4%. And not only does Wayne have terrific students, it has an outstanding faculty. About 60% of the faculty have doctorate degrees. Dr. Don Hickey, Dr. Gloria Lawrence, Dr. Catherine Carter, and Jim Brummels all published books this year. Dr. Hickey's book, The War of 1812, was a History Club selection and was also an alternate selection for the Book of the Month Club. Dr. Pat Arneson was named Outstanding Teacher by the Nebraska Business Teachers Association, and Dr. Pearl Hansen received the same honor from the Nebraska Art Teachers Association. Dr. Cornell Runestad, longtime professor of music at Wayne, was the 1989 recipient of the Teaching Excellence Award from the State College Board. Please note that the examples I've cited are representative achievements only. We would be all here all day if I were to list the other honors that the faculty has won. But I will now rest my case, hoping that I've shown you that at Wayne State College you get considerably more than you pay for. However, it is specifically the May 1990 graduating class we are here to honor. The sense of familial connection and relationships is always strong at a Wayne graduation, and no less so today. I would like to recognize just a few of those relationships. Twins Denise and Diane Magnuson of Emerson, brother and sister Richard Matier and Julie Matier Zytek, whose father, R.J. Zytek, incidentally, is principal of Wayne Middle School, and Cynthia Filter, master's candidate who will be hooded by her father, Dr. Bill Filter, longtime Wayne faculty members. Would those graduates and their families please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Speaking of family relationships, graduates, don't forget old Mother Wayne. We will shortly be singing her praise, and we hope it inspires you to maintain your support for and ties to this college. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize one special guest that we have with us today, State Senator Jerry Conway. Where is he? Could you please stand, Senator Conway? All right. It gives me great pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker. For many, today's speaker needs no introduction. Perhaps you have met him and know him personally. If you haven't met him, you know of his work and outstanding service to Nebraska. Senator J. James Exon was born August 9, 1921, and was raised in the rural community of Lake Andes, South Dakota. In 1939, he moved to Omaha to attend the University of Omaha. When World War II broke out in 1941, he volunteered for the Army Signal Corps and served in New Guinea, the Philippines, and Japan. After serving active duty in 1945, until 1945, he served in the Army Reserve until 1949. He married Patricia Prose of Omaha. The Exons have 3 children, Steve, Pam, and Candy, all of whom are now married. The Senator is especially proud of his 3 grandsons and 5 granddaughters. Senator Exon was a successful businessman prior to beginning his political career. In 1954, he and Mrs. Exon established Exon Incorporated, which grew into one of Nebraska's best-known office equipment companies. He became an active leader of the Nebraska Democratic Party, serving as vice chairman and national committeeman. In his first bid for public office, he was elected governor of Nebraska in 1970 and was re-elected for a second term in 1974. He served Nebraska as governor longer than any other person in the state's history. In 1978, he was elected to the United States Senate by an overwhelming majority and was re-elected in 1984 to a second six-year term. A respected member of the United States Senate, Senator Exon is recognized nationally as a spokesman for agriculture. He currently serves on three major committees of the Senate: the Senate Armed Services Committee, the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, and the Senate Budget Committee. He is the chairman of two of the subcommittees of those committees and serves as a member of four other subcommittees. He is the only member of the Nebraska delegation who chairs any subcommittee. Senator Exon has been honored and recognized by numerous groups for many contributions to the public good. Time does not allow a listing of all of his recognitions here today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pride and respect that I present Senator J. James Exon, the senior senator from Nebraska.
Thank you all very much. President Marsh, Gretchen, Representative Board of Trustees, honored guests, members of the faculty, graduating seniors, students of this great institution, and last but far from least, probably some of the most important people of all here, the families and friends of those that we're doing honor to here today. I would like to thank you, President Mash, for inviting me back again for another visit to this great institution of higher learning. I couldn't help but note your introduction to me about the chairmanships of committees. Reminds me of a story that's making the round inside the Beltway today that I like to tell because it puts committee chairmen in the proper respect, I think, and puts them down just a little bit from the exalted position that sometimes befalls us. Story goes that a man drove home at 10 o'clock at night, parked his car in the driveway, and the thought hit him. It was his anniversary, and he had forgot to get his wife an anniversary present. He skidded the tires as he backed out of the driveway, drove frantically down to the local shopping center. Everything was closed except the pet store. The pet store owner was turning out the lights as he came in the front door, and he said, just a minute, I've got to have an anniversary present for my wife. And he said, what did you have in mind? Well, he said, I have no idea. I've got to buy something. And he looked frantically about it. To the back of the room in the center was a very large cage with a beautiful parrot, big parrot, yellow gold breast, lime-colored wings, little red tuft on the top of its head. And he said, well, how much is that parrot? And the shop owner said, $10,000. $10,000? He said, how could any parrot be worth $10,000? He said, mister, that parrot speaks fluent English and French. Well, he said, I can't afford that. He said, what about that parrot over there? Here was a parrot about half the size of that big one, colored about the same, nice looking bird. He said, how about that one? He said, that's $15,000. $15,000? He said, how can any parrot be worth $15,000? He said, look, mister, I don't have time to argue with you. He said, that parrot speaks not only French and English, but 3 other foreign languages fluently. Have you ever heard of such a thing? And he said, no, I haven't. He looked frantically about on the floor, sitting over here. In a very small cage was a very little parrot, kind of moth-eaten looking. He looked mean, he looked ornery. He had one eye that he peered out around the pet shop with, and he said, how much is that parrot over there? The pet store owner said, that's $20,000. $20,000! He said, how could that parrot? He said, what does he know, and how many languages does he speak? The pet store owner says, I don't know. As far as I know, I've never heard him say anything. I think he speaks no languages, and I don't think he knows anything, but the other 2 parrots called him Mr. Chairman. Thank you, folks. As governor of Nebraska, I made many visits to this fine institution. And I remember one very special day that I suspect in the years to come I will not remember as special as this day because I am indeed honored and proud to be here to salute our honorees today, these great students. But this one special day was a governor's conference that was sponsored by the Public Affairs Institute of Wayne State College. Joining me that day, among others, I remember well, was former Governor Val Peterson, Alan O'Donnell, and Henry Lay, among others. These were the type of individuals who played a key role and have been such leaders, and many others like them. They have played a key and a very strong role in the development of Wayne State College to the wonderful Nebraska success story that Wayne College is. I am especially proud that it was my administration that was able to find the funds needed for the restoration of the humanities and education buildings on this campus. Included in that restoration was the Henry and Dorothy Lay Theater, restored to its original beautiful state. It took several years of effort, but it was worth it. I always enjoy coming to Wayne State because Wayne State is what education is all about. A healthy mind, a healthy body, caring about friends and neighbors, and caring about our state and our world. Wayne State has a tradition of graduating students with these values. We have 200 plus joining those ranks today. But speaking to you students, I suspect primarily what you're interested in is not the past, not history, but what about tomorrow? What about the future? What about the 21st century? Certainly, events are happening today at a truly dizzy pace. Even at this time last year, no one could have imagined the dramatic events that were about to occur. We are viewing the dawn of a new era. We would not be seeing these incredible changes if individuals, in many cases students, did not care to challenge the system, to reach beyond the accepted values and avenues of the day, to encourage all of you to become similarly involved is one of the reasons that I was honored to come here today. I suggest to you students to accomplish whatever goals you set out for yourself and set those goals high. Don't underestimate the contribution that you're going to make. Also, to you graduating seniors, this day will be an important beginning in that reaching out process that I just referred to. Others of you may have a year or two or three before you must begin that process. However, it is never too early to start getting in shape for the rigors of what lies beyond the walls of Brandenburg Education Building and Wayne State College. Indeed, what lies beyond the borders of not only our great state, but our great country as well. In that respect, I believe that Wayne State College has provided each of you with a solid base to begin this journey. Wayne State College has an outstanding reputation in this state, which is based on its strong tradition of dedication to economic prosperity for Nebraska and absolute the best that we can provide, which is all summed up in the term academic excellence. We have been fortunate in the United States that many of our institutions of higher learning have been able to maintain high standards of excellence. We still see a large influx of students from around the world coming to the United States to study at our institution. This has led to the development of a global economy, indeed a global community. The world is expecting a great deal from the United States. I suggest possibly too much, if it is a fact that the world is anticipating that we can afford to finance through increased dollar handouts the needs of all of mankind everywhere. We simply don't have it. And that reminds me of a favorite story of mine about the 6-year-old girl on the first grade playground at recess time. She was grabbed, caveman style, by her 6-year-old boyfriend, and he threw her down into his arms in this fashion. He looked down at her and he said, "I want what I want when I want it." He had been watching, I suggest, some of the soap operas that we see in our television today. Well, being like all of our outstanding young women, she wrestled herself free. She hauled back and she slapped him as hard as she could right across the face. She said to him, "You'll get what I got when I get it." The United States of America has got to send a signal, I guess, around this world that we cannot be the godfather to everyone, but we're going to try. However, in maintaining our place in the global community, we must look at what is happening in Europe, in Latin America, in Africa, and certainly in the Pacific Rim. We must evaluate those situations and determine how events that take place there affect our existence. The events of the last several months have brought clear victory for the values which Americans hold so very dear. We are fortunate. Like a house of cards, the structures of tyranny and oppression were undermined by the self-evident truth that all men and women are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. We can further hope that freedom's blessings will soon come to China and Cuba, and more fully to those who live in South Africa and, of course, in Central America. Geopolitical global realignment is not just probable, it is assured. That is the challenge of the 1990s. And that is the challenge and the hope for all for the 21st century. There is a previously unimagined hope and friendly competition among former rivals and new partnerships that are coming about today to cement the common interest. While the gains of democratic values are young and somewhat fragile, it is not too soon to begin to imagine and plan for America's role in tomorrow's world. In that regard, it is most obvious to me that America may soon have a distinguished, lessened military burden. That's one of the things that we're wrestling with in Washington today. If change that we have seen today is sustained, if that change is reinforced by trust and treaty, there will be a considerable peace dividend. Some may anticipate the payment of that dividend will come only in the short term. I suggest that more probably much of it will come in the longer term. I fear not that the United States of America will be ever conquered militarily. Our challenge then is to prepare for assuring our economic security in the 21st century. As this peace dividend materializes, we must invest a large share of it in deficit reduction. America's debt burden hovers over every taxpayer, over every congressional decision, and it consumes increasing amounts of our nation's wealth. Within the next 2 years, the nation's gross interest expense, that is, interest on the national debt, will likely be the single largest expenditure in the federal budget, eclipsing even national defense spending. Such benefits help none but the coupon clippers, more and more of them from abroad. Therein lies the proof that our fiscal policies have been ruinous to the sound economic base needed for America's economic security. Prudent steps now, while requiring sacrifice, can reduce America's long-term debt burden and assure that future resources are available to devote to much-needed improvements in such areas as education and health care and agriculture, just to mention a very few. Faced with this unparalleled economic competition around the world, the United States cannot afford to sacrifice the talents of even one citizen in this new global environment. A strong nation will need strong schools and healthy citizens. No time can be wasted in the effort to improve education for all Americans. I have long held the view that education is not just an expenditure, it is an investment. One of the very best investments that we as a nation can make, and we'll be making more investments of that nature in the future. In the coming years, the nation must also carefully examine its health care system to assure that quality health care is available to all Americans at fair prices, especially in rural America. Americans will be living longer and requiring increased medical care. In the U.S., one bout with a serious illness should not drive the average family into poverty, which is becoming ever more apparent as we go through the toils of today, trying to keep things straight. But as we continue moving forward and participating in this global community, we must continue to reach out to new goals. We have to look behind every curtain. We have to search for new ideas. We have to challenge and push and pull and question over and over and over again. We can no longer afford to sit back and admire our greatness. There are others who are challenging us. You graduates are all in a position to do the challenging, to do the pushing, and to do the questioning. And we expect you to do that as you assume your new responsibility. I know that this is a phrase that you students have heard often, maybe too often, but it's been said over and over again. But I can't emphasize how I personally feel. The graduates of this year, 1990, deserve our praise and our statement to you that you indeed are the leaders of tomorrow, of our families, of our farms, of our businesses, of our governments. We expect you to play the role that you've been trained here at this great institution of higher learning to carry out. Forget not that you will be involved wherever you are and whatever your station is in a global society. The challenges will be for the 21st century. In closing, just let me say that I wish the best of luck to each and every one of this fine-looking group of young people that's graduating here today. I say again that we are proud of you. As you move out into the world, do the best that you can. Set your sights high and then accomplish that. Thank you once again for asking me to be here today to honor these graduating seniors. God bless. God bless indeed. And God nourish and keep each and every one of you as you move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Exon, for those most appropriate remarks and for the very kind words about Wayne State College. Dr. Donald W. Wisenhunt Provost and Academic Vice President of Wayne State College, will present the candidates for degrees. Dr. Wisenhunt.
Thank you, Dr. Mash. Will all the candidates please rise? President Mash, distinguished guests, members of the faculty, parents, and friends, I am pleased to present the spring class of 1990. As Provost of Wayne State College, it is my responsibility to review the program of study for each candidate being presented for a degree today. Each person listed on the printed program has been approved for graduation by the Wayne State College faculty and the Nebraska State College Board of Trustees, contingent upon completion of all college requirements. Please accept my hearty congratulations. For those receiving master's degrees, it is a particularly significant accomplishment in higher education and underscores your commitment to excellence in your chosen fields. You too are to be commended. As graduates of Wayne State College, you will have all the responsibility to work with your alma mater in our constant effort to improve the quality of our programs in higher education. As an alumnus of Wayne State, we ask you to commit yourself to support this college so that those who follow may expect expanded opportunities. President Mash, I am pleased to present these candidates and to recommend that you confer the degree, as noted in the programs, subject to the candidate's completion of all requirements.
By the authority delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of the Nebraska State Colleges, I confer upon you, subject to satisfactory completion of all requirements, the degree for which you have been recommended, with all its accompanying rights and privileges, as witness whereof you will receive the diploma of Wayne State College. Symbolic of the degree conferral, please proceed to move your tassel from right to left. Given today's breeze, your challenge for the rest of the ceremony is to keep it there.
Will all but the first row of candidates please be seated?
The college's Director of Admissions, Jim Hummel, will now begin the presentation of the baccalaureate candidates. He will be followed by Dr. Robert McHugh, Dean of Graduate Studies, who will present the master's candidates.
For the degree Bachelor of Arts in Education, Jill Marie Archer. Danielle Aubie. Pamela D. Bergion. Cum laude, Patricia Ann Paulson Browning. Misty Michelle Burke. In absentia, Michael Lane Clay. Magna cum laude, Christine Lee Miller Cox. Honorable mention, Trina Marie Morrison Delgado. Theodore Joseph DeTurk. Julie Ann Divis. Karen Lynn Benson Drahota. Sherry Ann Dreyer. Lori Renee Holland Ellingson. Lee D. Emanuel. Michael John Emery, honorable mention. Karen Eileen Julie Ann Fleer. Ray Tipton Hennig. James R. Hickson. Cindy Lou Holton. Joni Lynn Lysted Erlmeyer. Lorraine M. Jones. Diane Marie Kessler. William Arvin Kitchenmaster. Scott Paul Kneifel. Summa cum laude, Lori Ann Myrose Cohn. Jeffrey Richard Corris. Sherry A. Cramper. Honorable mention, Deanna Jean Mosel Kroger. Rita Ann Stutzman Lehrman. In absentia, Jody Jean Messerol. Richard John Mateer. Kathy Lynn Meyer. Henry Shane Miller. Honorable mention, Beverly Ann Moeller. Patricia Ellen Moser. Teresa Marie Needfeld. Aaron Laverne Ogan Jr. Summa cum laude, Rhonda Sue Peck. Chris Lynn Pestle. Jean E. Peters. Grace Marie Peckney Peterson. Honorable mention, Lori Lynn Thompson Pierce. Ann Ptasek. Bobby Jean Reeker, honorable mention. Martin Henry Sanders. Jennifer Lynn Schmidt. Mary Ann Oswald Schoening. Honorable mention, Marie Shields. Pamela Sue Suits. Linda R. Kelly Smith. Magna cum laude, Keith Richard Spees. Jane Catherine Stansberry. Lori Lynn Stapleton. Joy B. Appleton Sextorth. Stephanie Suzanne Sullivan. Julie Ann Tiller. Summa cum laude, Kathleen Ann Thompson Trendle. Rosellen Marie Bell Vosser. In absentia, Christine Marie Veit. Gregory Joe Wallen. Magna cum laude, Peter G. Warren. Marcia Lynn Verbka Williard. In absentia, Christine Lynn Windeshausen. Honorable mention, Julie Ruth Mateer Zytek. For the degree Bachelor of Fine Arts in Education, magna cum laude, Marie Laurie Cooper. Julia Ann Frost. Douglas Owen Johnson. Honorable mention, Carrie Lee Layton. Sister Angela Paul. Michael Patrick Peters. Tamara Jean Runkar. Lisa Ann Schaefer.
At this time, we have several special awards to present. First, Outstanding Faculty Member, to be presented by Nolan Axford of the Blue Key.
I don't know when the Wayne State College chapter of Blue Key National Honor Fraternity first recognized a faculty member for being an outstanding professor, but it is a tradition which we carry on from year to year, and I am extremely proud to present this year's award to its recipient. I feel a great deal of admiration and respect for all of the instructors that I've had contact with, especially the men and women in the Math Science Division who have patiently helped me to learn and grow over the last 4.5 years. I sincerely wish to thank all of you for the good things that you did for me. Many students feel the same about the instructors who have made a difference in their lives, and speaking on behalf of my fraternity, I am proud to give them an opportunity to vote for their favorite instructor. The results of the voting indicated that there are a lot of popular instructors, and I wish that we could present more than one award. Ms. Cheryl Bowers, Mr. Tim Garvin, and Dr. Jim Page were all within 4 votes or less of the person who received the most votes. This year's outstanding professor earned his bachelor's degree in engineering at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point and his master's and PhD in sociology at Utah State University. He is an associate professor in the Social Sciences Division and has been the driving force behind its criminal justice program for the last 10 years. According to Dr. Gene Carlin, who is the head of the Social Sciences Division, students consider him to be an excellent classroom teacher who has an exciting teaching style, a man who finds time to devote to students, and an extremely knowledgeable instructor. He currently supervises an average of 12 interns a year and conducts about 3 in-service community presentations per month. And best of all, his serious students find jobs. He has been selected by the members of Pi Gamma Mu, the Social Sciences Honorary, as the outstanding faculty member in the Social Sciences Division twice in the last 10 years. And at this time, I feel very privileged to present this year's Blue Key Outstanding Professor Award to Dr. Paul Campbell.
I'm uncharacteristically speechless at this moment. Considering the caliber of my colleagues, this is indeed an honor. Thank you, class of 1990. Congratulations and good luck.
To to recognize the John G. Nyhard Scholars, Dr. Robert McHugh. Having had the opportunity to touch your lives. We are very proud of each and every one of you, and we will continue to follow your work and your lives with pride. It is our hope that you'll do many good things, that you'll do things well, and that you'll live your lives in an exemplary manner while distinguishing yourselves and Wayne State College. Stay in touch. Good luck, and God bless you. Let's have one rounding rouse of applause for the Wayne State College class, spring 1990. In closing, I would like to recognize the student ushers and marshals who are members of two of the college's fine student organizations, the Cardinal Key and the Blue Key. I would also like to thank Professor Joanne Bondis of our Faculty Senate, who served as the faculty marshal for today's ceremony, and Professor Christopher Bonds, who conducted the Wayne State College Concert Band today. Please stand for the singing of our alma mater, the words of which may be found on the last page of your program. Professor Connie Weber again will lead us in song. At the conclusion of the alma mater, please remain standing for the benediction.
From the boundless plains around us, hear our voices gladly ring. Windswept cities, turquoise waters, echo back the song we sing. Stately Mother Alma Mater, with thy grace our hopes entwine. Justice, dignity, compassion, all of these in thee combine. Columned high in brilliant azure, gathering grandeur through the years. Alma Mater, torch eternal, love of thee each thought and tears. Thy conceptions ever widening, sentinel the western plain, guardian of our old Nebraska, thus we hail thee, Mother Wayne.
Let us pray. Lord God, we stand on the threshold of a new beginning. But before we close the door behind us, we would express our gratitude for the people, the relationships, and the experiences which have brought us to this moment in time, to this commencement. Thank you for those who have taught us. Thank you for what we have learned and are learning. As we pull the door closed behind us for now, and as we turn to survey the vast vistas of potential and opportunity in front of us, give us strong hearts and confident faith and the assurance of your presence with us. Give us humility, because our skills are new and relatively untested, but also grant us daring initiative to confront the challenges which await us. Give us grace to persevere when the shadows fall and prospects no longer seem as bright as they do right now. And Lord, encourage us always to live lives of compassion and help us as we struggle toward justice with all our might. Amen.
There will be no formal processional today. Please join us for a reception behind you and to my right under the gold tent, immediately following. This concludes today's ceremony.
Let me take this one back. Big white hat. No, serious. Right straight down for me. Pink shirt, white hat.
They want to.
How you doing?
Okay. Well, eat. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For Mom and Dad at graduation, we want you to know how happy we are for you. You should be so proud of all you've accomplished. I sound like a college graduate, don't I? Yeah, we always wish you happiness, but we also hope you'll always have the satisfaction of reaching your goal and still being a person, a really special person. $5,000. Jason? Why do you need to proud of you have to give me 5,000.
You better not.
500 would have been good enough.
Very hot. I know, I left them on. I should have shut them off too.
This is for my grandma. Ooh, pretty card.
What's that say?
It's a very pretty card, thank you.
They didn't have anything for
I love
Grandma.
you.
I love you too.
I should write all this down. What can I write it on?
I'm gonna get out of here. Tablet? Sit down.
Yeah, you got a book in your office. Man, I don't pull in the office.
I'll get it.
These all the chips you bought?
No, there's none.
What you doing? What you doing?
Look for a tablet. I like this.
This one's not a good one. All over it.
This one's not even good. We're busy. We're busy.
She disappeared now.
No, I can't have no tree.
No.
Generation 25 years between each one of us.
25 years between you and Chris? Ouch, you got shocked. Gonna fall off backwards?
What's your face with it?
Because somebody keeps hollering at me. Do this, do this.
Someone's gonna holler at you.
But it don't have to be you. It's bad enough with my kids and my mother.
Where in the hell were you?
Mother.
thought if I was gonna have to make potato salad, well, I better put them on after you call.
There they are, 3 honors women offer.
3 what?
Honors.
Andres?
Yep, that's the truth.
You almost said 25 years apart for each one of us.
That'd be 50, Mother'd be 75. And I'm gonna be 22. Yeah. Can't be that.
Can't be that.
There's 25 years between me and Mom. 23. That's a good year. 23. No, 27. Well, how old were you when you had me? 25. Really? 25. I'm 20. You're gonna be 50. You're gonna be what? 47. 47. I'm gonna be 22.
5 years
So that's
difference.
22. 25. 25 years between me and you? Yeah. And there's 25 years between me and Mom. So there is 25 years between each one of us.
I'll be darned.
In 25 years, I'm gonna look like Mom. 25 years, you're gonna look like me. Yeah. In 25 years from now, your little girl's gonna look like you. Yeah. So you can't have one till you're 25 years old. That sounds good to me. How many years is that? 3? 3. Yeah. That sounds good to me too. It worked out. We'll just keep it like that. Every 25 years. In 25 years from then, you'll look like Grandma. And your daughter will look like me. And her daughter will look like you. Yeah. But I and Grandma won't be around. And then 25 years from that, then you won't be around either. All 3 of us will be gone. Then her daughter's gonna look like Grandma. Yeah. And her other daughter's gonna look like I should have become a psychiatrist or what are those things called that
Assholes.
that know everything?
Yeah.
Predict
Sexual intellects.
sexual. That's like psychic. Graduate, as you go out into the world, remember these 2 memorable words that will open many doors for you. Push pull. Congratulations, live with you, Jane. Now I'm afraid
We have a sense of humor sometimes.
That's cute.
Doesn't get it.
Push and pull the doors.
You know,
No,
open doors for you.
Yeah, I knew we should invite you. That's my daughter's boyfriend.
Jamie wrapped this, so
Oh.
you can tell. I didn't know how to wrap it.
Ooh. Oh,
That's
that's
little.
pretty.
Hey, that goes with their furniture too.
Yes,
Yes,
it does.
that's real good.
I couldn't remember colors of anything. Anyways, a little potpourri bear.
She loves
I know
Yeah,
she
you
does.
do.
Oh, I know.
That's why we went with it.
You don't boil that, Chris. No.
Well, we should
Pretty.
different. It's just a little bear.
That's cute. Where'd you find these bins over there?
Right there is Chris's little baby sister. Baby Rhonda. Rhonda.
Yeah.
Hey, baby Rhonda. Hey, little baby Rhonda.
I think we're gonna have hungry. Eat some more sandwiches.
What you been doing every day?
Working.
Nights and days. 10 hours a day, 10 or 12.
Yeah, there's a bunch of barbecue sandwiches and stuff.
There's tons of stuff. He's not bashful. Good, great.
Paper plates are right over there, and then you just work your way around.
You gonna give me some chips?
Oh, good.
Chips.
Yep.
That's Rhonda's little short boyfriend.
And Clay walks through.
Chris's small investment.
Jamie, you want something? Jamie's not getting anything? She's on a diet? No.
Glenn's on a seafood diet. I think most of us are, aren't we all?
That was our light
She can tell
Okay,
you
Chris.
in a minute.
Where are these guys?
I'll ask her in just a minute.
Here's one. I heard there's a different one.
Want to sit down here?
We got more of these here.
Right here.
Wait, our coffee table? Our little card table?
Okay. Couldn't go hanging anywhere though.
You can sit, stand wherever you want. You have to stay here. You have to stay here.
There's cups over here and then there's some cups over
There's
where
punch and tea and coffee, whatever you'd like to have.
There's those cups. There's coffee and tea here.
I'll guard it with my life on.
Chris, do you ever use Sweet Glow or Sweet Green?
No, I don't have any of that. Sorry.
Sure you got coffee? Maybe that doesn't.
Diet pop.
You don't need no coffee.
Wow,
It's tea, you said?
Yes, there's tea. You want diet pop, Jamie?
there's bigger cups for the tea and the coffee.
Oh, okay.
You can use those cups for the.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, use it. I'll give you a punch up now.
Yeah.
Vicky, how wide should I cut the cake?
That's strawberry.
About 2 inches. Okay.
That's usually what they consider. That's a salad,
Strawberry
not a cake.
Can you taste it, Mother? Can't decide whether to cut it this way or this way.
Right there.
This one?
Yep. Just right.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't a year ago. Kept it off.
How much did you lose?
About 40 pounds. Ooh, wow. Took me about 3 months, which was really super.
Same
Yeah.
card I got.
Not supposed to save that.
You got a napkin.
This big or this big?
Little bit, little. Later. Just right.
Later on, just because it's on the way, it's still coming.
It's in the mail.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's pretty good. I don't know about that. Like Wednesday,
Yeah, she said interesting.
I didn't know.
Cat
Oh,
scratching?
you did
How's
pretty
that cat
good.
doing? Oh.
Congratulations, that,
Well,
you
thank
just
you.
finished it up.
Yeah, today was graduation, so.
Hey, JJ, you want another cat?
Yeah, you want another cat?
No, don't even think
Just
about
like
it.
it?
No,
Like it?
you don't.
So nice.
Only a female this time.
No,
Or do you have a female?
Hi.
no, it's male, but that's all we have is one.
Does she like guys?
Right, not you.
Look at it in my arm.
No.
Hey, little girl.
She never seen a thing stole.
Yeah, so
Good.
I've had some
my knees are all
Yes, you read it wrong.
all bad. I get them.
Well, help yourself.
Aren't you happy?
Yeah. I'm really
So
happy.
happy.
It's all done. Now I just need to find out.
Yeah,
Now the hard start. The hard stuff starts.
though.
You never know.
Yeah, well.
Well, you guys help yourself some tea.
Should I eat it?
Are you gonna get some to
I
eat?
might eat for Kenny. I'm starving.
Oh, good.
Can you come
Did
over?
they have stuff?
No, he's in Omaha.
The new corn thing, or didn't you?
I didn't go to that. I didn't want to tackle.
How you gonna do it?
She's, no, I left her over.
Give her a
Sit down and eat. So I can eat too.
Go to your mom.
So I can eat too. Like over here party.
Yeah.
This is the place that had your cake.
We're gonna be back in a minute.
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
We will.
Drinking.
You sweet little thing, you. Wanna go mess around?
Yeah, talk to
Not with him, with you. Tell me what's the matter with you.
Thank you.
Great. How about yourself?
I heard about that. Yeah, I get a hug.
Oh, you bet.
Fancy. Fancy.
Hi there.
Yes, I'm offended. I'm offended. Yes.
Somebody told me you was going out and getting wild and crazy.
It took off already.
I had Bert
He didn't say it was going to that. Oh. They had plans. I know, that's what he said. I had one. I thought
One too many, yeah. Well, that'll happen.
Have 8 chairs. Yep, they didn't get out till about 4 o'clock over there.
Well, we saw yours and you made us so jealous that we had to go get us one.
You were leaving early this morning.
That's what I heard.
Fantastic day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice day for graduation.
Yeah, beautiful. What's his name, Carnes?
Can't believe them, they don't know anything, you just have to call the person in charge.
But now we have no way of doing that because I'm going to show you there for 20 minutes.
Women were not supposed to go.
They must have gotten
No.
Help yourself.
In fact, it was so bad.
We went to
I knew I should have ate first. I waited.
See, I haven't seen you for so long. I just have to do so much crap. That's right. Well, neither one of you. I thought you guys moved out of Norfolk. I didn't even know you lived around here anymore.
And then he goes on and tells the story, and then he's getting into Bella's business. And that reminds me of another.
You got your underground sprinklers yet? Your track?
No, they said it's dry.
I know, that's what I said.
They're getting my parents.
You go to college and graduate with me, yeah?
If I graduate from college, you gonna give me the same thing you gave Chris? Huh?
Well, in my case, I might not get quite so much.
You gotta be the top 5%.
Okay, I'll go to college. I told Cameron she graduated from college, I'd give her $5,000 because it'd be about the same as $500 nowadays.
And make up for all the money you spent in the college.
Been 15 minutes.
Is it?
Are you ready to play?
I told him I got that. I got it. Yep. My grandma actually got it. She first kept it in her
Okay.
That didn't make any sense. I said, well, he didn't want to read it. He said he'd like to read it. So I'm going to read that down for him.
Have you seen Scott today?
What's your name? Sandy Rockspace.
Did he talk about coming around tonight?
I haven't seen it. I didn't even see it yesterday.
No, that's not.
I was confused.
That's what I said.
I got a pay.
Yesterday after we
Got up at 7 this morning, I don't know why I did.
I didn't really talk to him.
How old was she? I don't know. Heather Matson. So what do you think? Jody.
How's it going, Wendell?
Jody Eaton.
I'm real anxious to. I wouldn't get this. All I'm going to sit in is this class.
Well, not all of it.
Only in America.
Only in Ronnie.
Yeah, right.
They can almost make it paranoid.
It's a matter of right now.
You can almost make it paranoid.
Yeah.
You got them all psyched out, right? You got them all psyched out. He ain't doing such a shabby job today, is he? He was doing pretty good today. He was putting that groceries away pretty good. I go.
If the ship's been on a restricted diet like you're on in,
Yeah.
you got one little sandwich and a little tiny bit of...
No, it ain't my
You
first
should
one.
have seen him trying to
We
buy your
have one
pants.
or what?
He only lets you eat one plate at a time, huh?
Yep.
Small merchandise.
How many times did you eat tonight?
3.
3 times?
You gotta have a way to redeem yourself.
Now I have another one. Thank you, Dennis. Addie. Pictures. That's about your 5th load of potato salad.
Yeah, I think you get 12 mistakes. And then Rhonda, she got a bad grade on her.
On my what?
On your thing.
That's like me. I
Your term paper.
I taught Karen that for kind of like typing errors.
It's good to I don't like crowds. I'm not.
Had a lot of typing errors. I did. If you would have let me type on the computer, I would have been ready. And I also helped Ben reorganize everything.
It's always the machine.
There's this big one.
Talking about it. Doing sand.
Quick starts.
Stainless steel carton.
Get a towel.
Get it wet, Cambria.
Yeah, if it gets up wet, it'll probably cool. Cold water.
We figured it out was needed to be used. In August.
She graduated in May from high school, right? And they got married in July.
I mentioned about an awful meeting.
Is that what it is?
Well, you
That's a squirrel, ain't it?
or whatever it was.
Megan Scott.
Whatever.
What was in the box?
I'll tell you.
Oh, it's cute.
How fast do you type, Sherry?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
You know, there's people that, when mine was that pays like $50, $60 to type it out.
Squirrel?
Oh, no. Do not correct the error. They spelled it.
You better wipe, bring, wash out the wash rag again.
They're just paying you to type the way they wrote it down. And that's where they did it. And there was a lot of kids that got working. They figured they were going to try to, you know,
Which is there, which day I go there, which day is there.
As far as she can help me.
I don't know, because when you read that.
You got that straight?
Yeah, I got it.
Call her and be real. I mean, you just got a good relationship with her. I think you get to know one of those people, you have a big impact.
I just had my,
They were fun, too.
fun.
Oh, yeah, I was always so proud to take your class. Take your class. All those things.
Yeah.
It was kind of.
What are you guys doing now?
I'm going to the stock car races.
Now I can graduate.
He's went out for lessons.
So you going to stock cars?
Try Tracy.
Tracy?
What? That I might go out there. I might go out with Wendy.
What?
I might go out there.
Yeah, she already told me. Double cake.
You'd like that better, wouldn't you?
I trust her. She'll tell me. She better. You don't trust Tracy? So, Rob's a friend. Hey, Rob. I know something. I won't tell her. You tell me.
I take your secrets very well.
You don't even have to worry about it.
But then if I don't help, it always does not help. Sometimes it does help.
And if she tells me, I
Blackmail.
that way I can see you beat him up.
And I mean it.
You think they would have second here? And then, downstairs. Oh, you have to go.
It's an individual.
You see them laying down there, propped up or something.
Boy, does it.
I couldn't bend over that far to sleep.
I know, we saw it. Don't they, Jim? We go to the bathroom outside.
Oh, yeah.
Boys, you remember a lot? I don't. I don't know.
We ain't got much to reveal when we go.
I think her mind's better than
I wouldn't drive about that.
I just slammed myself and didn't think about it.
There's something wrong with it. It's a defective product.
What?
That's a lie.
Who wrapped it?
You wrapped it?
That was a good job.
You did a good job. You know what I do when I wrap? I take a big piece of paper, just cover it up, twist it at the end, and put paper on the bottom.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, knee wrap paper. This is present for you.
Never wrapped them.
It's great when you get somebody in that position because I know like it.
I wanted one of those once. I have no use for it.
These two days you had was little college.
I've always wanted one of these, but I never got one.
Just what you would want.
I had to get your initials in. I couldn't find out what he did.
Sloppy?
Okay.
So you gotta lock them.
That's really
Oh, that is nice. Ooh.
Take it out.
That was sick.
Take it out. Take it out.
Briefcase, huh? Oh my god.
I was going to get an initial. Like I said, I didn't know where to go to get your initials put in. I didn't get it done. If I find a place, I'll still do it for you.
That's really nice. Thank you very much.
Ooh, combination.
You get to pick your own combination, don't you? Right now, 0, 0, 0.
Really?
Yep.
And as soon as you open it, that's what it
That
is?
is nice.
So now yours is 0, 0 all the way?
No, you can change it. Usually, most people don't change
How do you
it, so
change?
I don't know exactly, but you can change it to whatever you want.
You can invest some money in this here, you know.
Put all your money in there.
She'll probably use that.
Go to work for me.
Baby cats to work.
They're downstairs.
Go look at the cat.
They're not big.
They're baby kittens.
I'll put them one up here, maybe.
Plus my
Well,
other
we're gonna go down. I ain't seen the house yet.
Didn't I show you?
They have to pay.
No, we don't do this.
Harry,
I missed you.
No, you didn't miss me.
They do so much flying, they really.
Talking about it makes it worse, you know, because they're running it anyhow, so they got all the.
Running it fast.
Thinking of Jerry here and his camera smoking.
Yeah.
Hi, Papa.
I've got every picture I've got of her on my video, she's saying, I don't like this, just turn that thing off. You know, everybody thinks that's the only thing she can say, turn that thing off. Hi, darling.
Her Chris went and she probably escaped.
Yeah.
Carol's got her
Where's
outside.
Krista?
Oh, Carol, took a runaway.
She didn't come. She should have come.
Well, the Millers have a
That's what
have a motorcycle.
With all of my changes,
I guess
I-
you give it that from what we
So I bet
said.
everybody was busy too, I mean with the potluck and all that.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, gotta go. In yours, Goldwing?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you,
And
82?
She did say I
92
should go.
Interstate.
Interstate, yeah. Well, that's a nice machine. That's a.
You got me some chocolates?
And like I said, I can hunt around and find one of those. A lot of times with you know less than 20,000 miles on them.
$2,500 for that.
Yeah, right. New 10,000. You know.
Video
new-
camera?
Goldwing.
No, I know.
$2,500 for Goldwing, that's all?
Oh, usually you can find it like Ron's right now.
No, that's not bad.
Oh, it isn't.
You riding yours yet?
I just rode long enough to burn myself.
To burn?
Sunburn, you're talking
No.
How'd you burn yourself?
I had shorts on instead of long pants.
Oh.
I got off of it, right on the exhaust pipe. Chicken fried.
Smell of flesh.
The thing is it makes the guy so mad at himself because you, like I say, you know better than to do that. You know,
I couldn't even blame my wife.
I know.
Everything else I can blame her.
I have done that. You know, just take a little shortcut.
I can relate with that.
I put the mechanic on behind me one day, and I told him, I said I was getting some kind of a noise. I don't remember what it was, and so I knew better, but we just got a helmet law in Montana. But we was trying to listen for this noise.
That dog's nice.
So I took off up the street. It was kind of uphill and then leveled out level the top. 2 blocks, you know, and I really got on it, you know. I just wound around low, which like 60, 65 mile an hour low, you know. And let off from it so you hear this sound. That was policemen.
Is that your job to put that in or theirs? No, they put it in.
I didn't think about speeding because I really was showing him the deal, but I was nervous about not having a helmet on. So I knew the cop, so I pulled up alongside him. You know, he just like this, and so I pulled up alongside him, and I said, the reason I've got a helmet on is so we're listening for noise. He says, if you want to bust your pumpkin, that's your business. He says, but I clocked you doing 45. He said, what are you going to say about that? And I said, if you could have got me over the hill, you'd have got me at 65.
You asked Clay about the noise in his Cadillac.
The noise in his Cadillac?
He put his fence right up against that.
Very embarrassing. Hey Clay,
That's a couple $100 for that street. Yeah.
he was listening for noise in the motorcycle. Tell him about the noise in the Cadillac that you had that time. You took it to the garage, remember?
Oh, that when it started.
Yeah. When you took off, when you stopped, you heard this noise? The golf ball?
That was the most embarrassing thing in my life. I have a tray next to my seat. You know how you have a thing? I have 2 golf balls sitting in here, and every time I excelled, those golf balls would roll backwards. I was sitting there listening to my engine, and every time I'd come to a stop sign, they'd hit. Something's really wrong here, and it did it a whole day. I just couldn't figure it out. And the next day I go, something's wrong with my engine. Great. And it just was like clockwork, you know. It just seemed like the engine was doing it because I'd hit my brakes.
Yep.
I'd take off. I know. I bring it to Kmart, and these guys are looking at it, and they're revving the engine up, trying all these different things, can't get it to go. And then I was going. The guy gets in the car with me. He says, "Well, he took it for a drive. He couldn't hear. He couldn't hear anything." So then I got in the car with him, started taking it for a ride. I hit that stop sign, and I look and I seen him out of the corner of my eye.
Oh, I guess it doesn't make any
and
sound
I just go,
now.
I don't believe it. I hit the brakes and I said, watch this, and I pointed down at that and he just started dying laughing. And I just dropped him off in front of him. I didn't even go in to find out if there was a charge. I was so embarrassed. He just got out there and I could tell he was just dying laughing. Couldn't wait to get into those other mechanics and tell them this. That was the worst thing I ever.
Talking about the mechanics talking, I had this Volkswagen. I bought a brand new in
my
60 or 75.
Okay. That sounds like a woman trick there, Clay.
Summa cum laude is 3.9 to 4.0. Magna cum laude is 3.8 to 3.89. And then cum laude is 2.7 to 3.79, and honorable mention is 3.5 to 3.6.
This thing, throttle cables broke. Go down the road.
I would have thought there would have been a lot more people than that with the 3.5. That's surprising.
If you turn the key off and lock the steering wheel.
I would be,
I mean, it was
at this point,
terrible.
now I don't know how much, see, when Connie Weber sang the...
Did you hear that?
Alternator caught on fire, smoke and boil.
Just
dozens of things went wrong with this car. So one day I got out to Reed Point. I was on my way to town, lifting it into town. They just
She screwed up.
I was too busy, I was... Oh, honey.
So I called the dealership.
Yes,
I
you
was
can.
upset.
This woman is one of my least, is my least favorite person. Don't take me saying this.
We're gonna blackmail you.
And they're trying to be nice on the phone, you know. Well, Mr. Golden, what is it? I had an audience. I was always from the bar.
I don't know.
He was saying
Of course, I
that.
didn't bother you anyhow, but I called,
Telephone. Bird's calling.
I had an audience. So the guy says, well, Mr. Golden, just what's wrong with your car? And I said, well, let me put it this way. The only thing on this car that works properly is the rear view mirror.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And that was my statement. Undoubtedly, he
Okay,
thought
I'll
that was
put
funny,
it in
and he
my
told everybody in the place, you know. But the guy said the only thing on his whole car that
Okay.
works is the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to. When they come out, they picked up the car at the record, they pulled it into the dealership.
You're supposed
And
to
everybody,
take
they were really
Carol's
proud.
first
First year of the-
So are you taping me eating? Everybody always gets me on tape and all I do is eat. So anyway, this lady, have you ever had her, Connie Weber?
I'm not eating.
Everybody comes out to look at it, and they come.
She already cleared out
the kitchen.
Let it down when
Yeah, I
we
did.
were right off the windshield. You know, it's glued on the windshield.
He's not a nice person.
And everybody in the place just.
He's doing a, what's that religion? What are they? They're.
Jewish?
Huh?
Jewish?
No. They're not Muslim, they're
Islam.
Islam. My dad's he's studying Islam right now.
Hot water.
He just finished a big model. He gets into stuff like that. He said he's always been wanting to read this.
Was there more cups, Neil?
I came up there.
Is that book any good, Chris?
What?
Well, you didn't read that book, then.
No, I've heard it's really full of different terms, like mostly geographical stuff, and you really don't, unless you really know what you're what you're reading, then it's not worth reading.
Yeah, it's really.
What's in your tea?
You really got to know what's going on world-wise to understand it. It's really out of this world. When you read the first chapter and it's
Yeah.
it's hard to understand.
Ooh, it's hot water.
Where'd you get the book?
My grandma.
Well, yes, you went and bought it, huh?
She didn't. She got through the first chapter and was completely lost. And she keeps up on world things a lot, but it goes into different languages and goes into a lot of things and traditions and stuff. And she just completely got lost. So she gave it to me to read, and I've been reading it. And then I know Dad. I talked to Dad that I had it. He said bring it down and he'd read it the week I was there and give it back to me. So Grandma will get it back. That's all my dad does besides work is read. He reads. He never watches TV. He reads all night long. I mean, till he goes to bed every night.
What, do you want to take the baked beans to church too?
You'll be full of stuff to take, Chris.
What?
You'll have full of stuff to take.
Yeah. So, where you want to put this meat together that you're going to take? Or maybe you don't want to? Yeah, I did.
No. I didn't eat that much, but I said, how big 2 sandwiches are those?
Grandma, she
Oh.
wants to take them home. I want to place some sandwiches to eat on the way there.
Make you some ham sandwiches.
Well, I took ham out. You want ham or? Ham would probably be better because it'll be cold.
It doesn't matter.
There's plenty of ham.
That's fine.
I'll take it back to the second. Whatever you want.
Just making some sandwiches.
My mom wants me to call right before I leave so she knows when to start worrying.
That's probably right.
Do
Do you have baggies or anything, Chris?
She won't sleep at all.
Yeah, they're in here.
I think she told me she was kind of glad that she said that because Chris is going to go up there a little later. And then,
How many does he want?
is that on?
Give him like 4 or 5. Should I put it on regular bread? I won't take the buns from the work. You want butter on them, Clive?
Okay, do it.
Dad is just kidding. I don't want to do this. Otherwise, you'll end up doing dishes. If you don't go to college, you'll end up doing dishes.
Here Chris is working in a cafe right now, a restaurant.
3 generations here, all working around the kitchen. And if they would have went to college like me, they'd still be doing dishes. They'd still be doing dishes. We would have a mansion by now, and we'd have maids to do this. If my grandma and my mom would have both went to college, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah.
And, somebody has to start it. Start the trend.
Grandma didn't have nothing when she got married, and she ain't got nothing now, and now she's got a house, are you taping?
Grandma, you got a lot more than a lot of people. You're a very fortunate lady.
Oh, yeah.
I believe so.
You believe so, yeah. I am. I got a lot to be thankful for. I got a daughter, and I got sons, and I got son-in-laws,
Grandkids, and you got
grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and they're all good to me, and what else?
You could be rich and have nothing. I mean,
Yeah, I
you could be rich and have no family
Yeah.
that loves you.
That's right.
Only loves you for your money.
Yeah, Well, we said our 2 cents worth in. Now you say your 2 cents. Ron? We're waiting for you to say your 2 cents.
What is your philosophy on life?
He ain't even on that. That's what I did to Dan when I ordered the bun. I wanted to answer anything. This is your sister. I'm calling to ask you to bring me some buns.
There's a handle. There's a handle.
Fantasizing again.
Clay, you getting excited about going?
Yeah, kinda. Chris, we forgot to give Tana her rollers. Darn it, she's gonna thank Chris took Till's back with her. When Krista was here, she borrowed her rollers for her hair. We still have them. Oh boy, I gotta get changed into sweats and stuff. I ain't gonna go down there. That's like that.
You're uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm inside. I ain't home. I get away from Chris. You guys call her and have her over this week.
I ain't having her over my house. She can come over my house.
I'm making her keep all the blinds shut. All the doors locked. Hey,
she can have Sambo over here.
Oh, that'll do a lot.
Chris?
My cats will eat him.
You want Sambo?
Did a good neighborhood. She should be nice.
She'll be with Norman 90% of the time.
I hope so.
We'll eat prime rib every day, Chris, while Clay's gone.
I tell you what, this old boy's gonna have some good steak while I'm up there. We'll be going to the cattleman thing tomorrow night. Oh, well, my cousins are all coming down tomorrow, and they're having a barbecue for me. And
tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
It's gonna take you how many hours? 20? So if you leave here,
By like 9:30.
if you leave here at 9:30, 9:30 tomorrow morning will be 12 hours. So you have 8 more hours. Yeah, you'll be early afternoon.
Yeah.
You'll stop probably an hour and get some rest.
Well, I'll probably eat somewhere because I'll drive up straight through the night, and then tomorrow morning about 7 or 8, I'll probably stop at a truck stop and eat breakfast. Because every time I'm up late, I get hungry at nighttime. So, and I think I'll stop and eat instead of driving through drive-through because I'll need to stretch and stuff. I should. You know, when I went to New Orleans, I forgot my driver's license?
Yeah?
You believe that all drove all the way to New Orleans without a driver's license? Lucky they get stopped. See how good my car will do on gas up there.
It should be broke in. You should get some good mileage now. You have to write everything down and see how good you do get.
You know how much it takes to fill that tank run?
$12.
Not a big tank, but
No.
it seems like it goes for a long time.
Well, you got about 400 mile average, or
I think about 350 to 400,
yeah.
It's supposed to, didn't it say like 27?
I thought it was 30 something.
30? Look, I'll put this stuff in my car. Yes.
Chris will have all next week to haul stuff back.
What?
Bring chairs and stuff back.
Yeah, I know. I just got you back your chairs.
Yeah.
They come right back here again. We've had the church over. This is the third time since we've been in. This way. Thanks.
You don't have your ceiling fixed yet.
Come on. You want me? You really want to leave me in charge of fixing that?
Joe didn't show up for that old turkey.
Hey, we don't have to go next Sunday. That's gonna be nice, ain't it?
No.
I'm going golfing.
You can go golfing anyway.
You going with me?
From 1 o'clock.
You're going with me.
I will. We don't go golfing in the morning anyway.
Hey, Corinne, I'll put your library card on the dresser, okay? Because I had yours. So imagine you'll go there this week.
Do you have some lids for your gift?
Coffee pot is unplugged.
Do you have a paper sack I can take the garbage out and find those 2 lids?
Yeah,
Or just tell me where they're at.
Downstairs.
Oh, I know. Downstairs in that.
they're in the bag by the washer, by the dresser.
Need to go.
Bill's just about done.
Is it? Chris, remember, just water roll on about. You probably ain't gonna need to for a couple days, for a couple more days, and then do it again real good.
It says once a week, real good. You should water your yard.
Well, I watered it, I think, pretty good today.
You can start taking this stuff out.
are you all dressed up for?
I'll leave that on.
That's all right.